Hey guys, welcome back. I'm sure you noticed something different. um, don't worry, I'm not gonna straighten it. I actually blew my hair out because I was gonna do a braid out. Because you guys know, when you have like 3C, 4A curly hair, sometimes set styles, if you do them wet, it looks exactly like your curl pattern. So I just blew it out a little bit. I didn't blow it out to its full length. I still have like tons of a way to go in terms of length. Like this is still shy like 4 inches. So this is not my full length, but y'all can get an idea of how much hair I actually have. But yeah, I just did this so that I could do a braid out, and I got lazy last night. I didn't feel like doing the braid out, so I'm gonna do it tonight. But I figured I would just rock this. I was feeling my inner Erykah Badu, Shaka Khan, Solange Knowles, you know. I was feeling it, so I'm loving it, and hopefully y'all love it too. So I talked to you guys about bringing together my lifestyle channel and this channel so that everything is in one place, especially when I go to school. And a big part of my lifestyle channel is my journey with endometriosis. So today I thought I would come in and give you guys some hygiene tips. These will be great for any woman, but more specifically for those of us who have really heavy periods. If you suffer with endometriosis, fibroids, PCOS, there's a number of different factors, but having heavy periods is hard. It's very difficult to keep yourself clean, and it is very difficult to function in society sometimes, and that's no exaggeration. So I really like to talk about these things because I feel like we don't necessarily talk about them enough. And a lot of women who deal with things like this tend to feel like they're the only ones dealing with things like this. And that's not true. A lot of us are out here suffering, and we're suffering in silence. So hopefully this will motivate you guys to try some of these things out, as well as if you have any tips, start sharing them. Anything that we can do to help each other out is extremely important and extremely necessary. So if you're interested in seeing how I maintain my hygiene throughout my heavy periods, then just keep on watching. Okay, y'all, so I'm going to go ahead and start with the obvious. Pads and tampons are a given. Now, I don't have the tampons with me, but I do have a box of pads that I just finished. These are the Always Radiant pads with flex foam. They look like this. And these are the heavy pads. Now, me preferably, I would prefer to use more natural things, but with the way my body is set up and the way I bleed, these are one of the few pads that actually keep me from having major leaks. So, I can just tell you guys right now, I have to double up. So I usually have to do a tampon and a heavy duty pad, because I have periods to where sometimes I can bleed through a tampon, like super, within an hour. So I use the Radiant Always, and then I also use the Tampax Radiant. They have it on the side right here. So it's an entire line. So all of these are, you know, linked together. It's the same company. So what I like about these is that even though this is heavy, it's for a heavy flow, these fold very compactly, so you can bring quite a few with you if you need to. And this has their flex foam, so it's not like, you know how a lot of pads, it's like all cotton and stuff like that, and if you're taking it off, you can't get it off, it rips and it goes everywhere. You know, it's not that. It has foam in it, and I like it because as soon as moisture hits it, it absorbs it. So I have a better chance of not bleeding through my clothes. I was that little girl that was always bleeding through her clothes, ruining her pants and messing up car seats and stuff, and I thought it was normal. And I didn't understand until I got older, until I got to like high school, that those types of things aren't normal. So this is one of those things that really does help me prevent it. Sometimes my body just does crazy things. There are some things that I can't predict, and I will bleed through my clothes. But 9 times out of 10, these will prevent that from happening, along with the tampons. So I do highly suggest the tampons as well. What I like about the tampons is that the packaging that they come in has a resealable flap. So it's not messy, it's hygienic. If you are in a situation where, let's be real, y'all, I know y'all have been in bathrooms that don't have a place where you can put your sanitary items in the actual stall, and I don't understand why they don't do that, because all of us have, like, we know that we have periods, so I don't understand why bathrooms exist that don't have sanitary, you know, napkin places and stuff, you know, like that, to dispose of the applicators and things. So sometimes you do have to, you know, walk out of the bathroom and throw them away somewhere, or walk out of the stall and throw them away in the bathroom. So that just prevents things from being messy. It seals, so you don't have to worry about anybody seeing anything gross or crazy or anything like that. I really appreciate that, because when you have heavy periods, sometimes you find yourself in some interesting situations. Things go down in public, and you're trying to figure out how you're going to deal with them. And that just makes it that much easier to be comfortable out in the world and take care of what you need to take care of. So, highly suggest these, as well as the matching tampons. Next, I think these are one of my biggest favorites. And, like, guys, I wish that I knew that things like this existed when I was younger. These are the Summer's Eve cleansing cloths. They're for sensitive skin. I have mine in the scent Island Splash. They look like this. These come in a box, but my box got destroyed, so I just have them in, you know, the packets. But what I love about these is that they're individually wrapped. So what I do is I get a box, and I take like 2 and put them in my purse, and I take 2 and put them in another bag. I just put them in different places, so that I know that I have something to help me clean myself up. Now, these are pH balanced. They say they're dermatologist and gynecologist tested. One thing that I will say, I only use this for perimeter cleansing. So I don't get all up, you know, in the labia area and all that stuff. I don't do that. I feel like when you put different things like this, like, directly onto your vagina, you are creating a breeding ground for infection. Even if it says that it's safe, that it's pH balanced, the vagina is a self-cleaning organ, so I prefer to let it do what it needs to do. I only use these when things get messy. So if I'm bleeding everywhere, I'm out in public, and let's say my period starts randomly, because that happens a lot. My period starts, I'm on like day 14 of what is supposed to be like the 28 days, and I'm not prepared. I can, you know, pull this out. I can clean myself up, put on a pad, and be good. This is also great, like, if you, you know, I mean, if you're watching a hygiene video, you're watching this because we're going to be honest with each other. But let's be real. Sometimes blood gets everywhere. Sometimes blood spatters in places that you would never imagine it spattering, and you look around you and you are like, oh my God, there is a crime scene. I'm the worst human being in the world. I also use these to clean that up as well. So you don't have to feel like you have to carry a giant thing of wet ones with you or anything like that. If you have that issue where sometimes you look up and you were like, oh God, like, I've had those moments. It's rough and it is embarrassing, and the best thing you can do is just try to be proactive and have something like this with you. So I find that when I use these, I feel really fresh, nice and clean. I also like to use these, like, quite often I'll have to go straight from class or from doing my research in the field to an internship or an interview or anything like that. I don't necessarily have the time to jump into the shower. So these smell really nice, and they have enough solution in them to get you clean. So, you know, I'll do a pat down and all that stuff if I need to, because sometimes, you know, we're in a bind and we don't have the time to hop in the shower. So these are really useful for that too. I find these to be wonderful, all-purpose, all that good stuff. Let's see. Since we're talking about keeping ourselves clean, y'all, you need to take a shower. Especially my young ladies. I know that sometimes we get in binds, we have a lot going on, life is crazy, and this is like from middle school to college. I understand, but there is no way that you should be skipping a shower. Just no way. Especially if you have heavy periods. When I'm on my periods, I don't like to do it because I find it wasteful, but I often find myself having to take 2 showers a day because oftentimes I'll wake up, there's blood everywhere, you know, my period started, I didn't know it was starting, or I thought I had it under control before I went to bed, so I wake up and I had to take a shower. And then at the end of the day, you know, I've been bleeding all day, so I have to go back and take another shower. Ladies, please clean yourself. I like using the Dove body washes. This is for sensitive skin. I also enjoy the Lush body washes. I'm just out of those. I showed you guys in my last empties. Please find something to keep yourself clean. Take a shower. Now, obviously, I use this on my body. I do not use this on or around the vagina. I only use water in that area. I find a lot of women trying to mask odors and, you know, to hide smells when they're on their period by, you know, doing a lot of douching, using body washes and soaps and, you know, stuff like the Summer's Eve that I just showed you, to keep that clean. I don't think that's safe. And, you know, I have talked to my doctor about it, and he's kind of said the same thing, that, you know, the body is something that you can never really predict, you know. Let your body do what it needs to do. And the reality is, guys, is that your body is cleansing itself. There's more than just blood, you know, coming out of your body when you have your period. So you are not going to smell like roses and daisies and, you know, fresh rain, and your vagina is not supposed to smell like that. Vaginas are supposed to smell like vaginas. I'm just being honest. If you have people, I mean, it's just one of those things. I think it's something that we have had ingrained into our mind, that we have to smell good for other people, especially when it comes to having a man in your life. Listen, if your man expects your vagina to smell like daisies, you probably don't need him in your life. Like, he probably doesn't understand human anatomy. Like, he probably doesn't even understand his own anatomy, and therefore you probably do not need him in your life. I'm just being real. So, you know, I had to keep it real with y'all. We set these unrealistic expectations for ourselves, and when we cannot achieve those expectations, we feel down, we feel like less than a woman, we feel gross. Guys, you are not going to smell like a happy rainbow during your period. And to be quite honest, when it comes to freshness while you are on your period, I think the only thing that you can really do is to target things from the inside, as opposed to putting a bunch of things, you know, on the outside and trying to take care of it that way, because doing that is how you're going to harm yourself. You can keep yourself clean without, you know, scrubbing your lady parts. So, cranberry supplements or taking pure cranberry juice, it doesn't taste that good. I mean, you get used to it. That helps with urinary tract and vaginal health, and that can help with the freshness of your vagina. Eating lots of fruits and veggies, cutting out your dairy, limiting your red meat consumption can really, really, really help. So if you are one of those people that just wholeheartedly believes that if you take 5 showers a day and scrub your lady parts and put all this stuff on it, honestly, like, once you're bleeding, you're not going to smell any of those good things that you put on. And I find that 9 times out of 10, when I feel like I smell bad, I'm the only person who notices it. No one else around me notices it. And I have people around me, they're the type of people that'd be like, Brie, you stink. Like, go take a shower. So, a lot of that is all in our heads. And we really have to work on eliminating that, because it's not healthy. It's not doing anything productive for you as a woman. So, just keep that in mind. That is one thing that really frustrates me, is I have a lot of people ask, how do I, keep my vagina fresh when I'm on my period? Your body is cleansing itself. It's only going to get so fresh. If you are shooting for unrealistic expectations, then you will be extremely, extremely disappointed. So just keep it realistic. Just be healthy. The next thing that I have, this is one of my favorite things to do and to have while I'm on my period. Now, this is dirty because I use this for my makeup, so don't judge me. I always like to keep a plastic bag in my purse. If I have a suitcase, if I'm traveling. If you have a car, you can keep one of these in your glove box. I find having a plastic bag with me to be so helpful because, like I said, I am prone to bleeding through my clothes. And the reality is, if you bleed through your clothes, you do not want to keep on those dirty, gross underwear. So what I'll do is, if these are clean, if I bleed through my clothes, I will go in the bathroom, I'll clean myself up, take my underwear off. Sometimes I do keep an extra pair of underwear with me, just chilling. Simply for the sake of, like, if I'm on my period and I know it's heavy, then I may need to change my underwear. But we can't always do that. Sometimes you can't fit the underwear, but you can fit a plastic bag. So I'll just take the bag, throw them in there, zip it up. And I feel like this is important, more important than having extra underwear, because if you are out doing things, you can't get home, you don't want to take off your stained underwear and put them in your bag, because they'll touch other things. Like, that's not hygienic at all. So make sure you keep a bag with you. So if you bleed through your clothes, you can, put your underwear in a bag, zip them up, put them in your purse or wherever you see fit. And you don't have to worry about getting anything on the inside of your bag or anywhere else. You don't have to worry about getting anything else dirty. So I highly suggest keeping these around. This is one thing that has really changed, like, my game with making sure that I'm clean, especially in public, because it can get hard. So make sure you have a plastic bag. You'll thank me. And then I'm just going to talk about a couple of ways to take care of your clothes and sheets. So one thing that I find is that sometimes, even when I'm washing my clothes frequently, you have heavy bleeding. Sometimes those smells can stick around. I like to use the Gain and Wash scent boosters. I also really, really love the Downy Fresh Protect. Those are the ones that I like the most, but these are really good too. Y'all have probably seen these. They're like the little beads that you put into your wash. This really helps maintain the freshness of my clothes, especially my underwear. I'm pretty sure we all have that struggle with, if you're bleeding on your clothes, sometimes scents stay, it's a struggle. So I find these to be extremely helpful. I also like to use the Tide Pods with the Febreze in them. I find that those really help to remove stains. I don't have to spray a bunch of crap on my clothes to get the blood out or anything if I do stain my clothes. So I highly, highly, highly suggest those. They make things so much easier, especially if you're in a dorm, because you don't want to be lugging around a bunch of products to try to get out stains and stuff. The last thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is for your bed. And I'm washing it, so I will insert a picture of it somewhere in this video. But I have a pad for my bed, so it's basically a lined pad. The underside is pink, the top side is white, and the white part is cushioned. I know that throughout my journey, I have had several times where I woke up in the middle of the night, pull off my comforter, and it looked like there was a literal CSI crime scene right in my bed, because, you know, I didn't know my period was starting or whatever. So, eventually you get to a point where you're like, I'm tired of having to get up and strip my bed every time I have a period. If you get a bed pad, that makes things so much easier, because 9 times out of 10, you know, that will soak everything up. You don't have to worry about getting anything on your sheets, and you can take that one pad, put it in the wash or whatever. And that's extremely helpful for me, because for the majority of the year I do live in a dorm, and we have to sign up for laundry time, so I can't be, you know, asking people if I can switch a laundry time every time I have a period, you know what I mean? Especially if you're like me and sometimes you have more than one period a month. Sometimes I can have 2 a month. Sometimes I can have extremely long periods. So that is very helpful and useful to me to have that bed pad there. And sometimes, like I said, sometimes my periods will pop up because they're not real periods. So sometimes I will just keep it on there all the time, or if I kind of feel like something's festering, like I feel like things are a little bit off, I'll go ahead and put the pad down on my bed, and sleep on top of that throughout the night, so then I don't have to question. I feel comfortable, I feel safe knowing that I have that there, and that I won't have to rush and freak out and do a bunch of stuff in the morning, you know, before class, because no one wants to deal with that. No one wants to wake up and have to strip their entire bed and do all this work before 8 a.m., you know? So, that is my last tip for you guys. I really hope that this video was helpful, and I will be doing a couple more. I'm gonna do one on healthy eating, supplements, teas, veggies, all that good stuff. And I'm also going to do one on self-esteem and mental health. So let me know how you like this video. I'm really going to try hard to make sure that I incorporate this with all the other things that I do. So, yeah, that's it. Let me know your tips down below for heavy periods. If you have heavy periods, let me know how long have you been dealing with them, what has been your biggest struggle, and just talk to each other down below, give each other tips. I love to hear everyone's tips, because you never know, you could find like the next best thing, because it's really hard dealing with this. So yeah, if you like this video, please like, comment, and of course subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.